bro. Smith Eubank 2 this weekend, yeah?
Oh.
And I am excited. Let me just shout out Sky Sports, yeah? Because you don't always get it right. But when you do, I got to give you the shout out. This coverage has been amazing.
Don't just finish that. Continue shouting out a Man United legend. You know who he is. Right back. Gary Neville.
Oh, Van Persie. He used to play for Arsenal.
Gary Neville. Neville.
Good interview, mate.
That interview, because I watched the one with the rich guy, that young, I can't remember his name, that he spoke to. What's that one? The first Eubank interview with Bartlett. The guy that talks to Bartlett. Yeah. This interview for me.
He'll stop the middle of that podcast to let you guys know about his favorite protein shake. I just want to take this opportunity to tell you about this protein shake that I personally love.
Oh no, that wait. What's Bartlett saying?
Man be sitting down in a big conversation with Krept and be like, right, I just want to stop this conversation right now. Just to tell you guys about a protein shake that I personally like, Fuel. It combines all the fuels, all the ingredients. You're like, bro, big man, go back to Krept, man.
These guys are talking about big life issues and things I've been going through, fam. And you want to do a new product placement? What the fuck?
The pivot is crazy.
Bro, tell me about the time that you lost one of your family members.
Just before we get to that, I just want to tell you guys.
And there's no meal prep needed. And now this is
my busy lifestyle. It's so convenient, so healthy, it's vital. You're like, bro. There's more organic ways to do this. Shouts out to Stephen Bartlett, though, man. I do like that guy.
Hate us, bro. We're not gonna be liked. Shouts out to Steve, though. He's killing it.
I love the content. I'm a fan.
Anyway,
I listen to all of it.
How much better interviews?
Nah, because the way it pops up, it always catches me off guard. I'm just like, what?
Right, cool. So this is the thing, yeah. I want to say again, we call ourselves the speculation kings, and bro, we're on fire. I don't know what the numbers are, but we have called these things out for time in terms of the relationship, what it looks like. But what I went away from that interview doing, and most interviews I listen to, I do end up becoming a fan of fighters after a really good interview. I watched this interview, and there was a bit more vulnerability there, which I liked. It was more honest. Yeah. And I wanted him to win. I walked away from that interview saying,
absolutely.
Now there's some delusion in there and this, that, and the other, but it wasn't about the delusion. I kind of just respected his journey. And what I found that I really rated about Eubank in this interview in particular is his love for his dad and his admiration for his dad, in spite of
the recent
things that's happened. And that's all I learned. All I saw from that was, wow, man, there's some real strength in what is being said, what is being portrayed there. Because it's like, and then, you always reflect on your relationship. Every time I listen to him talk about his father, I think about my dad. And there's so many, when I watch it, there's incredibly similarities, because my dad wasn't a champion of the world. He just thinks like he was the heavyweight accountant of the world. Do you know what I mean? But then, and I'm totally let down. You know what I mean? Funny. But then, but when he's talking, there's someone visibly hurting him, but he's worked out the reasons as to why my dad is being like that. And that's that character trait from Eubank is commendable. It is
very mature,
incredible. That is someone that's like is in the overstanding kind of vibe of, okay, the reason why this is your reaction towards me, or the reason why you're doing this is not, and then you can tell that no matter what, he loves his dad. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel. My dad has moved mad with me and done things that doesn't make sense or isn't nice or isn't kind. However, don't tell me about my dad. I love him, innit? You know what I mean? And that was what was, and that's where I just felt that connection to the fight. And I was like, well, bro, I want you to win this. Like, just on the basis of how you hold your family down in these moments, even though some things have been tough, I rate that.
Yeah, I hear it, and I definitely respect it as well. I think it's such a funny one how somebody can be so misconstrued. Because I really feel like that about Eubank Jr. as far as perception goes. Because for a lot of years, bro, the way fans have spoken to him and gotten to him, they've treated him like he's the arrogant he's this guy, he's a crass personality. This guy has been pretty much this guy the whole way through. The interviews, anytime you see him talk, very nice guy, gentleman with how he handles people, especially the public. With other fighters, he will be an asshole. He will pull up the final seconds of that bout and be like, can't believe you quit. That's disgusting. That was me in there. Like he's horrible to other fighters. But you know what I'm saying? And I think people have taken his personality to be that person that shows up to disrespect other fighters. But when you hear him talk, you'd be hard pressed to dislike him. I looked at the comments and I was like, yeah, no, as I expect. People in there admitting to, I was wrong about this guy. Yeah, people have been wrong.
Yeah.
The guy's a really cool dude. It's like you just hear him talking. It's just like, yeah, being the son of Eubank Sr. has to have had a lot of pressure. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? And you can kind of hear when he speaks about like earlier on, that's why he kind of shied away from it. Let my dad do the talking. He goes, you know, my dad's talking did kind of create more pressure in a lot of ways with some of the things he was saying, but I wasn't ready to be anything other than a fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? You hear the upbringing, you hear like the difference in terms of how his relationship with his mom, how it is with his dad, and it's like it all makes sense and adds up. But one thing that he touched on, which I thought of Teofimo Lopez straight away. He spoke about my dad's relationship is always boxing. It's only boxing. Like at every stage, we just only talk boxing. It's like there's no dad moment. It's just constantly boxing, boxing, boxing. He's always a coach. And I was like, that's got to really take a bearing on your relationship.
Absolutely. Because it has no depth. It has no rule. And that's what I'm saying. And bro, trust, I'm watching that thing saying, raw, because I've seen, again, when you talk about the relationships that we both have with our parents, like you can call your dad and just talk in it. I can call my dad and speak about business. And that's it.
Yeah.
After the business is finished,
we're out.
We're out. And it's mad because I can't even tell him, yeah, I'm in this place, I'm doing this, this is the experience. It's business. It's strictly business. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and that is tough because it's like, well, I know we don't do that. You know what I mean? And I can just see the gaps, but then it's mad because at the same time, it's like you can still say like my hustle when I listen to him, and you know what I mean? I listen to him and he talks about my dad's prepared me for manhood, right? And when you look at it, I'm like, raw, like, even if there was a lot that I missed in my life, I'm a man though. And I can see the differences of some people that didn't have dads in their life. And they don't have that thing, like that hustle, get up, go, strive. You know what I'm saying? That's all my dad. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of that and being able to take an L, keep moving, my father. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's the thing. And he's been able to reflect an attribute and say, but then there's that big, and then he said, well, the mum made up for what he didn't have.
The affection and the other type of growth.
But then in my one where it's different is that I had many moments where the mum just wasn't there. And then after it came later, then it went again. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's mad. I was watching this thing like,
same.
I was like such a wide open, like, and I just had admiration. And I never had admiration for Eubank Jr. I'll be honest. I look at him and say, bro, but then I think there's a level of accountability that he's never shown in terms of for everything else. I don't feel he sees in his career, but there was a moment of just as a person, very clear.
Yeah, and it's like for me, it's like I have a split ways of how I relate to it, because on a level in terms of how my dad's relationship and me and my dad's relationship has progressed as adults and stuff like that. But also I've followed my mom's footsteps with my career. And my mom's got the type of footing on the black comedy circuit where one of the pioneers. Do you know what I'm saying? So that thing of him saying, yeah, like my first fight on Channel 5 and I'm being compared to a legend in the game. I'm like, bruv, I remember feeling like that when man would introduce me as Angela Mar's son and not always say my name. And you'd hear it and you'd be like, oh, this kind of tripped me up a little bit because now the stakes of what the level I'm supposed to be at,
you better deliver.
Sky high. Yeah. So it's like that pressure does make you quite cold. Do you know what I'm saying? I look at Eubank, and I think that's why I've always had a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
Because, and even with Ben, it shows. There's a thing of watching what these guys, I'm like, I know what that feels like. The scale is different.
Connecting to the
know
story.
That feeling, bro.
Connect to the story.
Because whilst you're trying to stand in your own steam, there is still this presence of a legacy that already exists.
Yeah.
And it will be, no matter what you do, it will be attributed up to that legacy that existed.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, you're kind of like, no matter how hard I bang, you're going to say, he's off his old man. But if I don't punch hard, he doesn't hit like his old man. And it's just that thing of like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I see the marks of it. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I feel for you. Yeah, that's why, I think that's why, yeah, I want Eubank Jr. to hold a world title. To silence the noise.
I get it. No, I honestly get it. And you know what's so funny? And we shouldn't really pivot like this, but it's in there where you talk about like, he talks about the haters and the relationship with the haters, right? Because the new one that I've seen, and it's so funny how people change narratives and stuff. Sha'Carri, the girl that was the sprinter, they hated her. They hated her. All of a sudden, she's loved it. She goes, well, you lot don't care about me. So it is what it is. And Eubank ends is lasting pretty much saying, well, it'll be nice to get love.
The cheers on the way into the ring.
Yeah. It'll be nice, but I know this is what it is. Even there's this new kid that came out that said, what do you call it? World champions of what?
Oh, save that for the
I'm gonna leave it. All right. Cool. We're gonna hold that one. But I'm just saying there's different things that now the relationship, the journey that person goes on will be very interesting, and how it molds him. Right now, I believe that Eubank has had all these moments in terms of growth and stuff, and it's happened probably like not at the speed that we needed. I felt that he should have been on the road looking for Roy Jones or Bomac much earlier in his career. And you keep hearing what you hypothesize about many a times is he's only going to listen to people that he feels are great. So he says, I'm going to do what he listened to Roy Jones. He almost tried to become like a Roy Jones because he thought, you're the only one that can talk to me because you're great. Because I've been in and around greatness my whole life. My dad's shown me this stuff. The next person is Bomac. I'm listening to him because he's got one of the pound for pounds. We're going to call this guy. He'll probably go down as a legend in Crawford. If he tells me to do something, I've seen the proof in pudding. I'm going to listen to him. I wish he formed that relationship earlier in his journey. Earlier. Then we have a lot more ingredient to make a good enough dish with. Right now, I feel like it's so late. I feel like, can he teach him everything that he needs to know to win this Liam fight and to go on and, as you say, capture a title? Because as I watched that interview, just like you, I was like, I still would like to see you wear a belt. And I've never thought that way. I said, you know what? And now I want to see it. Before I thought you're getting all the way to Misfits champion is where I see it. Like, but I want to see him go and win something. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is that thing because it's like the story's so close, and it's like, and I knew Seb as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So hearing about, the losing Seb, and even down to the little thing of like, because there's that thing that happens when somebody passes. It's like there's a part of you that kind of looks for them in other things. Do you know what I mean? He spoke about the 11-11 and how that comes across him now. And he's like, love you, brother. It's like these little things. I'm like, there's little things that make me think of my granddad randomly. That's just like, it's such a human thing now. When an artist, entertainer, sportsman, or athlete or whatever sits down and gives that type of insight into who they are, you can't not root for them. So it's like, we go into this fight on Saturday. I absolutely want Eubank Jr. to win. There's no mistake about that.
Brother.
But now, if we start to look at the nuts and bolts of what a win actually does look like, what's the likelihood of that happening in your perspective?
Well, I have to try and believe I'm going into this one with somewhat brethren bias, really, because I have to believe the lies that Eubank's pretty much telling me when he's saying, listen, everything was getting my way onto the third, and I got excited and I lost control. in that moment. I have to go with that narrative for me to honestly, because it's like if I believe that, then I think, you know, yeah, he can control it and then he can just win this fight. However, the boxing brain in me says Liam gained incredible confidence. This is a guy with a chin that he believed in. Everyone's believed in Eubank's chin before. They said he can't be hurt, can't be cut. It's that moment of saying, we hurt him.
It's like being Joe Joyce, get wobbled by Zhang. It's like,
this is it. This is it. Before AJ got hurt, we couldn't be stopped. Just are you with me?
Ruiz night.
Ruiz gave him, and then was like,
yeah, it's right.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of boxers, because he's a president, he's a unit and stuff. But I think even when you look at Eubank, you say, I know he's not gonna go down at any moment.
That's right. We're going 12.
We're getting 12. We're in here. We're gonna go 12. Hopefully, I come out hopefully I do enough to impress the judges and he gets a cut here and there. But I expect a longevity fight. Liam's changed his whole mindset to this one. He's coming in there saying, I've already hurt you in training before. We spoke about it. Remember? I creased you. Not only have I creased you now, I've knocked you out.
That's right.
I'm coming to you to do this. You know what I'm saying? And that's why now you're hearing Eubank say, it's not a points thing. I'm stopping him. And they know this fight is not points, bro. This fight is someone's getting knocked out in this one. It's what I truly believe.
I don't wrong you. I think you're absolutely spot on as well. It's one of those ones where I can see a version of Eubank that can knock him out, because whilst I don't think Eubank was dominating up until the stoppage, he had a good third round, a really good third round, and he let some shots go. Now, he didn't follow up on any of those shots. He just got to tee off on him on his own. I look at that and I'm thinking, if you can go back to old Eubank, you should be able to get through my man.
Destructive Eubank.
Yeah, destructive Eubank, Spike Sullivan settings.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things now where, like AJ, we are saying tap back into the old version. And I'm starting to look at this, I'm thinking, maybe that's a mad ask for fighters now. To tap back into to who I used to be. Because there's a lot of things that happen on the journey of being a fighter, injuries that get sustained, stuff that makes you suddenly change how you view the whole process.
And let's talk about that thing when that guy was in a coma, right? The fight that he had, and that had to change him.
Nick Blackwell, nah, to be fair, I don't think that did change him.
It must do sometimes. So. You never know, though. You can't say what the scars of that thing will have on your career in terms of you being just venomous. There was a time when he was fighting just as Yard said, he will kill you. My son will kill you. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get that level of, you know, and that was the time when you had Eubank just in the background and he said, just staring.
Not saying a word.
Not saying a word.
He was beating up sparring partners for fun on his Snapchat stories back in the day.
And all his expression, because he wasn't speaking, all of expression would really come out in the venomousness inside the ring.
Yeah.
Now it's like you've lost some of that venom and it's replaced with something else. Bravado of, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Cheeky gloves are off.
Cheeky gloves are off 50%. All I need is 50% and this, that, and the other. We still need that, like, he needs a bit of the monster in this fight here against the Smiths, because Liam knows what time it is in his career. Liam knows both men, not saying Liam can't afford to lose because there's still another probably a fight for him. But for Eubank especially, he can't afford to lose. Especially if he's got his eye on the legacy fight in Conor Benn.
He still talks about that. That fight is happening.
But it needs to go towards that fight in the right way. You can't just make that fight happen. If you take another loss, another L, we care, but we don't care the way we needed to. Before, it was take my money for that fight. Are you two are scrapping? Here you go. Financially, how much is it? Box office? Don't worry about it.
When I think about how huge that fight was, bro, it actually does irritate me. I remember that morning because we were going to be on the DAZN broadcast. I remember that morning thinking, wow! And I saw that someone sent me the headline, Conor Benn. I was like, what? And then now I'm watching the weigh, you know, the live weigh, and it's just like Connor's here like
jeans. And jeans.
I've spoken to Chris. He's happy with it. We're gonna go ahead. Eddie Hearn, what's happening? Is the fight going ahead? Yeah. Look, as it stands. And I remember just thinking, come on, just
and then you're excited. You know, you're very excited until Chris Eubank Jr. pulls up and he goes, haven't spoken to no one.
Oh my God! You are a liar.
A liar.
Oh man, the chaos, bro. To come forward a year later, Eubank's taken a loss. Connor's not fought since, bro. Oh,
we need again, Liam. Don't ruin this for the boxing fans.
Yeah, just come on, man. Just take, please. We need you to do an in-ring step aside. Yeah, study what Dubois gave us, and repeat that performance.
Chances on us.
If he can only tap into Dubois' mindset for that fight, do you know what I mean? Have a moment, push him, push you back. Don't let him have an easy one. Fourth round, really go to work. Then just quit in round 9 or something.
No, it's called disheartened.
Get disheartened when you see that Eubank's still standing. And Eubank's gonna give you that shoulder shuffle when he slips one jab, and then he's gonna go to work.
Oh man, do you reckon we're celebrating a Eubank victory on Monday Night Smoke?
I want to be, man. That's what I'm gonna say, bro.
That's what I want. I want it as well. I do want that.
I want to be able to get world title conversations going again.
That's crazy. Anyway, listen, bro. Eubank, we wish you well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Great interview. Spoke to me. Definitely like, yeah, we're rooting for you. There you go. That's the